No, because you're talking through your phone in Clubhouse, right? Yeah. But it's better for us. It's better to have you like this in Zoom because now we can hear you well. Good morning, honey.
All right.
Good morning, sweetheart.
Hello.
How are
I'm doing it. Here it is.
you? Thank you.
No problem.
In Twitch, you know what? My notification from Twitch, my alerts,
Yeah?
always shows like the text is lesson 26 for some reason. It doesn't show the text. I will send you a screenshot. Don't worry, so you can see how it shows in my screen the
Okay. No problem.
notification.
I have a new option for voice changing that might change this music enough so we don't have to worry about copyright restrictions. This is called the Pig King. And so I have no idea what kind of effect it would have on a voice, but it does change the music quite a bit. Will you check to see if your volume control is working?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, I got control of it.
This is next level stuff, people. It's really, can't tell you how excited I am about the ability to do this. Okay.
But it does change a lot the music.
Right?
It's not that good because it.
Oh, not in a good way.
No, because it makes it deeper.
All right, let me try something else.
It's not that like angelical now. It's more like.
Right.
Good morning, Jordan. Your turn.
Yeah. See this one for a minute.
Okay.
All right. I'm set to start. Let's see here. It says 3 minutes on the countdown timer, but almost there. Maybe just one more minute. Looks like everything else is lined up. Make sure I hit record everywhere. How's this, sweetie? Is this okay, yeah?
It seems like it.
Okay, great. I will leave you in control from this point forward on that.
Okay. Let's just be aware that the other ones doesn't get too creepy with the change of the filter that you made.
Yes, this one's called Little Girl, so it's more
okay.
angelic.
Should be. Yeah, thank you.
Better than the other name, at least.
Good morning, Steph. How are you?
Hey guys, good morning.
All right. I'm going to start in about 30 seconds. Thanks, everybody. Happy Monday. Today is the last day before Super Tuesday. This is a brand new kind of Super Tuesday. Tomorrow's going to be 2/22, 2/22, Tuesday. It's the day to wear your tutu. It'll be the second greatest day in history. Minute. 2 o'clock in the morning, I guess. I'm going to hit go. Good morning, everybody. It is February 24th. Nope, 21st. Oh, my goodness gracious. That 1 over there on my clock looks a lot like a 4. That's what I'm going to say. Just my excuse, though. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning so far. Today's lesson is Workbook Lesson 52. I have a couple little windows to slide around before I'm ready. Papa, can you adjust your camera down a little bit? Thank you very much. My perfectionism is definitely shining through this morning. It's funny. All right. I'll watch out for my places where I get tripped up. And how's everybody doing over in Clubhouse? Anybody hear me?
Well, I do hear you.
Fantastic.
Good morning, Luisa.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm having lunch right now, so I'm listening.
Have a good lunch.
Hi, Jordan. Hi, Taylor. Mary.
Yay! All the
Good
girls are
morning.
here.
Morning.
Yay!
Good morning, everybody.
All the girls are there, huh? Sounds like a good place for us to go.
And here we are. Workbook Lesson 52. Now I would choose again that I may see is the quote this thing shows for some reason. I'm not sure why it shows that. Because we're in review number 2. So at about 50 days into the coursework here, we're in a review section, and today we're reviewing numbers 6 through 10. And I'm just going to...
That's funny because in George Weissing post, it says see within.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It
different,
is.
right?
It is. They're all different because today's just...
Review.
Yeah, it's so we're actually going to review a couple of different themes as we kind of go through the review, but it's a great way to kind of, let's say, collapse our learning down into some nuggets that we can take with us on a daily basis a little bit better. So I think as part of the process, it's a great way for us to figure out. Hi, Dad. Oh, that is much better light. Good job, Papa. All right, let's get into it. We are ready now for another review. We'll begin where our last review left off, and we'll cover 2 ideas each day. The earlier part of the day will be devoted to one of these ideas. And the latter part of the day...
Lee,
Yep. Yeah,
that
Tom.
review number 2, that's probably
Yes.
for lessons
Oh my God, you're
70
right.
through
Thank you.
or 80
I see
through.
what I did there.
That's not it.
I jumped in my my table of contents on this side.
Yeah.
Jumped me forward. Thank you so much, Tom. It really helps having the author of the book there to kind of keep you in check. I got to tell you guys. There's nothing like a little angel on your shoulder
Tom.
like that.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a lot simpler now. Lesson 52. Today's review covers these ideas. Lesson number 6 is, I'm upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I'm upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions, which I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given these illusions reality, and thus I regard reality as an illusion. I flip the whole thing upside down on myself. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by my confusion. I'm always upset by nothing. Number 7, I see only the past. As I look around, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past, and therefore no enemies, and I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. Review of 8 is, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I'm trying to use time against God. Boy, that one's good for me. Let me
Lee?
learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I'm giving up nothing. Don't let the past drag you down. Review of 9. I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see past or the present. It is whether to see or not. What I've chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose to see again, that I may see. My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts. Yet it is only private thoughts of which I'm aware. What then can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with pitiful and meaningless private thoughts?
Lee?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, you were reading probably from just the
Yep.
regular. Okay. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I realized it when I finished and looked back, and I was like, there was no bold there. Wonder what happened.
Yeah.
So that was from the Purple Book. That was from A Course in Miracles, Circle of Atonement edition.
Yeah, that'd be the
And
same as the AICM Blue Book.
that's right. Should be
Yeah.
exactly the
Mhm.
same as
Yeah.
ACA and Blue Book.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I guess what I'll do now is reread it. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from the notes, and then we'll do our meditation. And probably after an hour or so, I'll read your version. And if anybody feels like hanging around that long, you can compare. But Anyway, for the long and short of it is I usually read from Tom's book first. And today, when I changed the table of contents, I switched and put myself in the other book because I have two digital books open in front of me. So nobody probably cares about those details. Did I get everything right? Looks like everything's still going right. All right, I'm going to read through the notes. How's everybody doing? Are you still
So
alive
good.
out there?
So good.
Good. How's the gym, Steph?
Amazing. I just love listening to you guys talk when I'm in the gym because I know a lot of people listen to music, but really
Yeah.
having the time and space to repeat what you're saying in my head and really think about it is, I love it.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yes. Are we going to do the meditation
Yeah.
afterwards, or how do
Yeah.
you
Do you
want to
mind
make?
if we do it then?
Yeah.
Great. So I also have your meditation saved here so I can go through it too. Let me
Ah, okay.
know.
So you can, you bet. I mean, your voice is and your English is so much better than me, so you should probably take that if
How
you
about
want.
I'll take a stab at it. That's not the right word. I will try and give it a shot, and then you can critique me later on. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. We'll make it the best we can. Wonderful. So, read through the lesson. I'm going to read some notes on the lesson, and then we'll get into a nice little meditation and do the lesson, kind of the lesson for today for ourselves. These reviews don't have the same kind of I don't know, they're a review. It's like we're checking in, but it's not necessarily. Screw this up. All right, let's get into these notes. Notes on Summary Lesson 52, review of lessons 6 through 10. I'm upset because I see what is not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. If I'm upset, it's because I've forgotten what I really am. I am a beloved child of God. I'm caught up in my daydream world of provisional reality and mistook the game of separation for my reality and the truth. I've forgotten that my current lifetime is part of my learning experience. My experiences are designed to help reawaken my mind to its ability as a decision maker to choose a different plan. The next time, I can choose for the guidance of the Holy Spirit's thought system. I'm upset because I believe the movie that I've chosen to play is my true reality. I've forgotten that there are no outside forces that can harm me. As spirit, I'm invulnerable. It can only be my own mind's belief in limitation that I'm currently experiencing. I have forgotten my purpose, which is to remember what I truly am. I have forgotten that this dream of mine can be utilized by the Holy Spirit to help me remember what I am if I ask for his guidance. Number 2, as long as I'm upset, I give credence to the ego's belief that I'm a separate, limited ego body. This upset helps keep me trapped in the ego's fear-based thought system and away from my own mind's authority to follow a different thought system. When I'm upset, I've accepted the role of victim. Victims claim to be powerless to change their circumstances. This failing to reclaim my ability to choose differently is exactly what my ego wants me to believe about myself. My ego is arguing for its rightness at the cost of my happiness. Let that sink in for a sec. Your provisional world is a world based on your perceptions. Your current perceptions are clouded and colored by your past experiences. You utilize your past experiences to form your current belief system. From this belief system, which is based on your past, you project from your mind what you wish to see and experience. You project out into your dream world of provisional reality thoughts that will confirm your present belief system. It's this predetermined thought projection that your senses pick up and perceive. Your preoccupation with the past helps ensure that your future will be perceived similarly too, and it will confirm your current belief system. Your future becomes a replay of your past. This is the basis for the saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. Number 4, your preoccupation with your perceived dream world of provisional reality prevents you from living in the now. In the mind of God, all things are eternal. There is no time and space, only a oneness. Since you live in your own private world of provisional reality, you need to at least try to live in the now of time and space instead of its past. Through forgiveness for both our brother and ourselves, we regain consciousness and slowly reawaken to the truth of what we really are. Forgiveness releases our mind's preoccupation with the past and allows us to reclaim our lost awareness of current events. Forgiveness allows us to drop our judgmental stories and focus on the present, which more clearly resembles the now. Our provisional reality is based on our own private perceptions. This private world, based on our individual viewpoint, is not shared with others, nor, more importantly, is not shared with the mind of God. Because perception is based on individuality and separateness, it cannot be shared. The mind of God is a oneness and is shared by all that God created because it is the truth of all reality. Creation is a sharing or an extension of what its creator truly is. The only real thoughts that a son of God can have are the thoughts shared with his creator about what he truly is. Non-real thoughts that arise from the ego's erroneous belief of separation, lack, and limitation are not how God created his son. These private thoughts of the split mind are under the guidance of the ego's fear-based thought system. They have no basis in reality, since they're not part of the shared mind of God. Provisional reality appears to be real only in the mind of the perceiver. Change your perception, and you change your provisional reality. You are asked by the Holy Spirit to choose again. Forgiveness is the means by which we reclaim our ability to choose differently. All right, let's take a moment to take a nice, deep breath together. If you're in a place where you can, I invite you to close your eyes and lengthen your spine. If you're seated, let yourself get pulled back your shoulders so you can take a nice deep breath with your next in-breath. And let's get in sync a little bit. We're going to do a 4 square breath. We're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, breathe out for 5 seconds, and hold that for 5 seconds. 5, 5, 5. And I'm going to count down each time. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just going to keep counting for us and take us through the different lessons that we're reviewing. We're going to take these lessons with us today. We have the same instructions this week for every day. It's to keep these lesson titles in mind. And I'm going to review them for us while you keep your eyes closed and you do some nice deep breathing so they can wash over you and guide you throughout the day. So on your next inhale, let's take a nice deep breath, filling your belly completely for 5. And then exhale slowly and completely. 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold that. 4, 2. And deeply inhale. 4, 3, 2. And hold that for a moment. 3. And exhale with control. 4, 3, 2. And let's hold that for a moment. Hold the out breath. And now deeply inhale. And take a nice deep breath. Fill your belly completely. Let your lungs be filled with that beautiful air. And hold it for a moment. 2, 1. And now breathe out slowly and completely. Let all that breath drain out. And hold that for me. 4, 3, 2. Deeply inhale and observe your body rising on your inhale. And hold that for me. 4, 3, 2. And exhale with control. 3, 2. For our last deep breath, let's take the deepest breath you've taken today together. Inhale to fill your belly up completely. And hold that for me. And let that deep breath course through your body. And now exhale with control. And whenever you're ready, you can go back to normal breathing. Let's remember our review lessons for today. I'm upset because I see what's not there. Because I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts, so I see nothing as it is now. But these thoughts don't mean anything, so I don't really have to be upset. Today I can live in the now. I don't have to be upset because I see what's not there. I don't have to see only the past. I don't have to let my mind be preoccupied with past thoughts. Instead of seeing nothing as it is now, I can stay here in the present so that I can be present for the presence that stays with me. I am upset because I see what's not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts don't mean anything. These lessons help free me from the ego's seeing so I can have true vision. You can open your eyes when you feel comfortable doing so. We've gotten one of these sessions down today. Do this again or come back and listen to us later on tonight if you want. The replay will be available in A Course in Miracles.live. Got a nice little URL where you can see it. It's easy to get to, and the replay will be there for you. Of course, we're live in our Facebook group as well, and so if you guys want to interact with each other during the day, that's a great place. We're available and around just about every day as we're getting ready for tomorrow's lesson. So, hi everybody. Thanks for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. We have accomplished our task for the morning. How's everybody doing?
I just want to share one thing that really sat with me when you were reading all of those. Is one of the lines that you read was that this experience is all about us choosing. And I don't know why, but that just really stuck out to me. It's this experience, this whatever we're going through is about choosing again. And after listening to the thoughts that I'm projecting onto the present moment or experiencing right now because I'm choosing to think them, is just, I just wanted to say that was my favorite quote of the day.
Thank you. I definitely agree with you. That's like a presence. You get a present for staying here and being the one that gets to choose your path. And no matter which way you choose, it's going to end up being the right choice for you.
Exactly. And I feel like there's been a lot of times where I choose the same thing over and over again, and then I would beat myself up for doing that. But realizing that I have to give myself grace, and the reason I kept choosing those things over and over again is because I needed that lesson in that way. And when we start to come to a point where we're like, because I remember coming to a point being like, why did I choose this? Like, I do create my own reality. Why did I choose this? And again, it's not that. It's accepting how you got there and the things that you did because of the position you were in, and everything always works out, and everything's, like you just said, if it happened, it's supposed to happen. And so, I don't know, just that quote really popped out at me. So
No, it's cool. It's super great that you said that, because now we can understand why this book take us to do the lessons all over again and all over again and all over again, because we need to have repetitions in order to grow a muscle, you know? So those opportunities that you had that seem to be like the same wrong choosing, if you want to say it like that, is because you needed the repetition in order for you to grow and to move forward with other kind of experiences in your life. It seems like, yeah, when you are on the experience, it seems like, yeah, I haven't learned anything, and you start to beat yourself up for it. But then something, when you really are asking for help in the right way to the right source, well, even if it is not the right way, if you just ask for help to the source, you will always have tools in order for you to move forward to the next lesson. And the book is clearly an example of that, because if you didn't get it in the first 50 lessons, then you have to do a review and do
That's
another
true.
review and do another review until the message, the single one and only message, it's really, really, really like at the core of your being. So that's a good point of view, Steph. Thank you.
Yeah, how I like to see it too is you get to choose, and you get to choose until you choose love.
Exactly.
That's lovely. I like that one.
Or another way is when you're saying, help, 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 and somebody says, or you hear the voice say, just choose again.
I had a wise guru say something to me yesterday. The sound isn't distracting. You are distracted. By being the one who is distracted, I have power over things that might distract me. I might have attention deficit disorder. I do actually have attention deficit disorder. It's not might. But I could choose to take my medication and then I can really focus and I can get more done in a day than 4 people can. So I can choose to see it as my superpower.
Whenever we got stuck with choosing, because it really is difficult when you are in the moment to choose again, when you are frightened
Yeah, that's how we get out of it.
yeah, another tool that I found helpful for me this week, this past week, was really questioning myself, what do you need to know to feel at ease? If you're choosing something that it really it doesn't seem like give you the right direction or doesn't feel right, but you seem you seem not have another option to go with that kind of mindset. Keeping the question in your mind of what do you need to know to feel at ease will open the way to the Holy Spirit give you another kind of ideas in your mind. It has helped me a lot, because whenever I have experiences in fear that I cannot really check the thought out of my head, I have this question within my mind, and then it really like my mind goes after another kind of information, and there's always something. So whenever you feel stuck by choosing the same thing all over again and you feel helpless and start to beat up yourself, just question yourself, what do you need to know to feel at ease? Not to do, is what do you need to know to feel at ease? And let just the silence mind gives you the opportunity to hear the Holy Spirit's guidance, because for me it's just an experience, and I hope we all can do some exercise about it, because we can choose all over again and all over again.
It's empowering.
When you read these lessons or do the lessons, one of the things that the Course in Miracles, a lot of times people talk about this is what we would call level confusion. Whenever Lee read them out of the purple book or the blue book, level confusion is very easy because there's really not a distinguishing thing between what are thought system is interpreting, where normally most people are under the belief that they're a separate body, and therefore they're coming out of a fear-based thought system. So when you read the text and you don't, especially when it doesn't show the separation between the idea that you're a learner versus an earner, you read these lessons from the viewpoint of an earner, and you do not you come from a viewpoint of fear, and therefore you get a little different interpretation of them. You don't really get that distinguishing idea that actually you are a decision maker that has a choice and therefore can decide how you wish to view your world. So the Course in Miracles is really trying to reawaken our ability, which is inherent in each one of us, to actually realize that we have the ability to decide what we wish to call into our awareness. When we uh, come from the idea that we're separate and that we do not have the power to decide, then what we turn out to view everything as that we're an effect, and all that we can do is respond to the outside world. So uh, it's important to realize that we have that decision making ability. And though we don't want to get into quantum physics and stuff, uh, quantum physicists are now saying that it's our consciousness where we wish to place our attention, and that actually probably their best guess is that everything out there is currently available, and it's our choice as to what we wish to place our awareness upon. It's like Lee had said in regards to, it's not the noise out there, it's me. The noise is always out there. Whether or not I'm going to place my attention on it, yes, then the noise is there in my own provisional reality. If I choose not to place my attention there, it will not be there. So we're trying to recover our decision maker, and the decision maker needs to be aware that it's a learner. Otherwise, its purpose here, and this is the difference between a fear and a love-based thought system. The fear-based thought system says that there's something wrong with you inherently, and that you have to earn some particular result to get some reward, and that you're trying to strive for some particular result. The love based thought system says that you're a learner, you're already perfect, whole, and complete. All that you have to do is remove the blocks that your thought system, your fear based thought system, has placed in front of you, and the love-based thought system will reappear. You'll reclaim your ability to uh, tie into the thought system, and that we're really here as learners, and therefore we're just reawakening. And then this world can become a fun, exciting adventure, as opposed to when we come out of fear, that it's a struggle, that we have to get a particular result, or we're a failure, or we get a particular reward. So it's changing from who decides who is to control my interpretation of those experiences. Thank you.
This is really fascinating because as many times as all of us have either seen this, whether it's once before or 10 times before, we keep seeing new things. So Lee brought up the phrase attention deficit disorder, ADD. I've already admitted openly that I have ADD as well, and I have had it worse, and I do take some medication. But what is this thing called love? No. What is this thing called attention deficit? And even before we say disorder, it's just exactly what Tom has just described. We have a problem in that we're not attentive to what's going on. We're seeing the wrong thing. we're looking at the wrong thing. We're looking in the wrong place. One of the best um, metaphors that Wayne Dyer used many years ago was a guy who's looking for his keys, and he usually has them under the mat, and but they weren't there, and he didn't see them under the mat. So he's out
Yeah.
there by the
He keeps
street
his
light.
keys under the mat normally. Oh, his
Yes,
hidden key. He normally has a
right.
hidden key
Hidden,
under the
hidden
mat.
key for the
Right.
door.
I
Lee, that's very good because that showed that you didn't have the attention deficit there. Thank you. So he's out by the street. He's out by the street light looking for the key,
what? What a
and
fool.
and
Why would he
and
do it
Wayne
over
Dyer
there?
comes over and
It
says,
can't
"What?
possibly be it over there.
But that's where the light is. It's the only place he can look, and
Oh,
that's what
what
he
an
figured
idiot.
out." Can you imagine someone like that? It's the
Yeah.
only place where there's any light. So it's wherever we put our attention is often the problem, and and the book, everything here says, choose again, put your attention somewhere else, and you can fix this thing that's bugging the hell out of you.
Can I
It's
add something to what you just said? Because
yes, ma'am.
it remind me something. It's just that there's sometimes when maybe the attention, when I mean you just said put your attention in someplace else, but there's sometimes that you do that in order for you not to see the issue in front of you. So there's sometimes that choosing again means that you need to see directly what is bugging you. So you can just face it and go through it and see that there's only light. There's sometimes when your mind goes like so distracted with so many things, it's just because the mind doesn't want to pay attention to what's really there to have a gift for you to learn. So the mind winds in several other things in order for you getting distracted from the focal point that you need to address in that specific moment. So you just disregard the learning lesson that you have in front of you, and you move forward with other things in your day, in your mind, and whatever, and you don't take action on the thing that is giving you the fear. So I think that the attention deficit disorder is just like a way that the ego has just to not let it let you like focus on the real thing that you need to see, right? But it's just because it's like running away, like seeing something and say like, oh no, I don't want to see this, and go away to find another thing to get busy with, and then that issue that it's in front that needs to be addressed gets louder and louder and louder and louder until you just have no option but seeing it. And when you see it and you get scared like, oh, this is going to be awful, and then you see it and it was just a shadow of something greater, of something just that will give you the next step in your life. And it's amazing because I have seen that in my life so many times now that I have this new experience in life. And that gives you this sense of invulnerability, because then you know that whenever you have fear, yes, of course, you can choose again. But choosing again, there's sometimes when you need to choose again just to address your fear. I mean, to go within your fears. So you just know, what do you need to know to feel at ease? And to feel at ease is probably looking at the thing that is giving you fear and try to understand what the fear it's all about in order for you to just take it away and just release the discomfort. Every single moment in my life that I have been in fear, it's only when I face like the content of that situation and I really take time to look at it and find like the connecting points in experiences that were difficult in my past, when really my mind and my body feels release and feels at peace and feels happy to move forward. What? Tom, did you say something?
No, I didn't. That's, I think, Bob on Zoom. But in, yeah, I could say something if you're done.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, if you look at these lessons, the first one is I am upset because what I see is not out there. The reason that it's not necessarily out there, even on this level of form, is because you're bringing in all your past perceptions, your past beliefs to this moment rather than being in the present. And therefore, we've been taught that our present is a product of our past. That's should be reversed around. The Rosicrucians have an idea as above, so below. In this world, we tend to think our as below, so above, and we get everything wrong. Our present is actually dictated by our future as to where we're coming from. But because we bring our past to this moment, we think that we're trapped by our past, and we do not believe that we have the ability to choose differently. When we see, the next one says, I see only my past. When we bring our past to the present moment, what we're doing is we tend to get a replay of the past. What we've done is not realize what our experiences are for. Our experiences are not for to gain a particular our experiences is to help us learn whether or not we are demonstrating in the world of form, time and space, the principles that we've declared to represent our true identity, or our identity as we perceive it now. And then we're supposed to, based on those experiences, look and get feedback, which is the fourth part of the creation cycle. It's actually beliefs, actions tied to the events become our experiences, which is a little bit different than the events because that's filtered through our belief system. Then we move into the feedback stage. Most people stop at the experience level and say the feedback that they look for is, did I get the right answer? Yes, no. Am I a success or a failure? A creation cycle constantly repeats until you get new results. Okay. And when we enter the feedback stage, we need to look at our results. Those are important. So we look at the result. We say, is this what I expected? Is this what I intended to do? Do I like that experience? Yes, no. And then in the feedback stage, we should, if we don't have the result that we want, we should take note of it. The question we should probably ask ourselves is, because beliefs always generate our experiences, we have to try and uncover our default belief, what's causing us, and it may or may not be something we're conscious of. So we ask ourselves this question: what would I have to believe about myself to have that type of experience? Uh, and you try and throw things out as to what you might actually have as a hidden belief. For example, if I believe that I wanted some good test results, I'm a student and I want to study and get a particular result. Okay, so I maybe have this belief that I need to study. All right, I may or may not have studied. Let's pretend that I didn't study in this example. I went into the test. I didn't get good results. I'd go back and I'd say, did I get the results? Yes, no, I flunked the test, or I didn't get the grade that I wanted. So now I have to say there's something wrong with the result that I got. Now, why was that? It could be because I believed that I needed to study hard to get results. And my ego or my subconscious mind is saying, Tom, your beliefs were that you're stupid. Okay, that was really the core belief that I'm stupid. I need to study hard to get results. I didn't get those. I didn't study hard. Therefore, my belief system will say, I need to confirm my underlying belief, which was I'm stupid. And I had a corollary belief that if I study hard, I will be able to get good grades. I failed to perform. I failed to, in the action step, take the actions necessary to study hard. So now I didn't get the results because I believed that I had to study hard because I ultimately believed I was stupid. Okay, so now if I get into that feedback stage, I look and I say, what would I have to believe? And maybe the belief in this case, and it might have in this case been a conscious belief, that I had to study hard. I failed to do what the action my beliefs required me to get to good grades. So in the feedback stage, I would say, oh, I need to have changed my action in the future. If I refuse to change my action, I will continue because the universe will continue to throw up that lesson to me, and I will continue to believe that I have to study hard. If I refuse to study hard, I'll continue to get poor grades. All right. Now, if I looked at that, I might come to, and let's just say I study hard and I don't get the uh, good result. I'd still come back to the feedback stage, said, did I get the results? Yes, no. If it was yes, then I'll say, what did I have to do to get those results? I said, well, I had to study hard. That will help confirm my corollary belief that says that I'm stupid, but if I study hard, I'll get good grades. Okay, so I'll know that I've now developed what I'll call a winning formula that says, in order to get good grades, when I'm stupid, okay, I need to study hard. Okay, fine. The proper thing or the easier way to do, if I could make the leap of faith, would be to change my underlying core belief that I'm stupid. Until I change that I'm stupid, I will always have to struggle, and I can make an exception to the rule, but that requires a lot of struggle and effort on my part. If I can discreate the belief that I'm stupid, okay, and modify that belief, then I will, all the other problems will go away that's created by that default belief. So we have to be aware that we're a decision maker. The decision maker is to look at the creation cycle, which generates our experiences, okay, and it's always beliefs, actions, intermingle with the events of the world, which we then filter through our beliefs and actions to create our experiences, which then generate, hopefully, it generates a result. People fail to go into the feedback stage, and because we're a learner, not an earner. See, an earner stops and says, "I got the results," or "I didn't get the results. I'm a scumbag," or "I'm not." If I got the results, rather than learn the lesson and say, "What did I have to do to get that result?" they just go on to the next prize. Uh, you talked about attention deficit. We didn't have those things whenever I was younger, or, well, I guess they probably knew about dyslexia, but in my case, I had all those things. Okay. Uh, Never really, like I say, diagnosed because they didn't have such a thing whenever I was younger. They probably did have dyslexia, but in my case, they never told me why I was seeing everything backwards. So, anyways, so that's a side point. But what we have to do is we have to be aware that we're learners. And when we
Tom, and
do that,
about
we enter into that feedback stage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have a question for you,
Go ahead.
but Sean was with his mic on I mean, a little while ago, Sean was with his mic on. I don't know, Sean, do you want to have a comment on it?
Yeah, it was kind of a background of what Tom was saying and a little cross of what Bob was saying, which is, it was said that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And, our perspective, our spirit, our ego, these are things that we normally talk about in the morning. And, for me, it's in the context of how do I look at things? Like, if I'm in a depressed mood, the things around me, they seem bad. They seem depressed. They seem, not as good as they are because my point in perception, the way I'm looking at things has changed from a neutral, normal point of view. If I look at things and my ADD is really kicking in, it seems like my life is really fragmented and I can't, focus on the right thing. Or, if I change the way I look at something like, somebody who's homeless, let's say I'm feeling a lot of shame in my life, I may look at that with shame or, imagine the person as being dirty or whatever. And, but if I'm thinking or in a place of enlightenment, I look at the person and I think, wow, they're free. I think that they can go anywhere they want to. I bet you they're living an interesting life. I bet you they have, some of the most interesting ways of getting from town to town. And that, those are the kinds of contexts that by being enlightened, I can see different things. And, when I'm in that enlightenment state, in the case of, the bomb that I was talking about, you know, I can actually enlighten my surroundings by bringing on those possibilities that it isn't just a shame-based world or, any of these, other kinds of, hate, negative emotions, things like that, and then the stigmas that those bring around them. And again, I'm the one that's responsible for bringing that into the room or bringing that into the conversation, right? Um, and that even if I'm around other people that believe, in a shame mindset, and that I bring enlightenment to the conversation of changing the perspective of the way that a bum has been seen. You just don't know. This guy could have been a computer programmer 2 weeks ago and lost his job. He could have been a humanitarian, and now all of a sudden we're judging him from a drain on society, and that's possibly not correct. They may be volunteering their time at a homeless shelter even though they're homeless themselves and giving in, right? Giving as well as taking. And we don't know that. It's our stereotypes, our viewpoints that we use to interpret the world and then put out the energy based on what we've interpreted. And so we all have a responsibility around us to our environments, to the people around us, to our own feelings and our own situations, to be as enlightened as possible so that, the people, situations, and things around us have a better chance of taking a positive turn, a positive outcome. And to me, that is spiritual enlightenment. That is the ability for enlightenment to spread to others. And that, our intention of love, our intention draws so much direction in a given place, and that focus and attention is, really what determines our future and the future around us. And that everybody, by being in this meeting today, has made an intention to have a better day, to have, a more enlightened sense about us. And as a result, the people around us are also more enlightened just by the energy we bring into the situations. And anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thanks.
That's great, Sean. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, that's really like on point of all Tom's interactions. Well, I do have like two subjects to bring. One is just that when Tom was saying all these things, I imagine like, I don't know why my mind imagined this like big scroll. I don't know if you all have heard the story of Helen Schuckman having this dream at the beginning of her process of becoming the scribe of A Course in Miracles. She had a dream. And in the dream, she was like in this boat, and then she found like I don't know if it was like this casket or something, and she found a scroll, and the scroll was open, and let's say like in the left side was the past, and the right side was the future, and at the middle there was like these huge letters, and she just like rolled the scroll to the center, and she only stayed in the center of the scroll, where the only thing that it said, it was like God is, or something like that. I quite not remember the specific details, but the dream she had was like some sort of test, I guess, where she was like having this experience of being in front of the information that she could have from the past and the information she could have from the future, but she just made the decision to stay at the center, where the only thing that it said, it was God is, and then she started to hear that voice, the voice that was like saying like, this is A Course in Miracles, please take notes. That same voice said, well, now you're ready, or something like that. There's a beautiful story around there. You can find it on the internet or whatever. And I had that image in my mind while Tom repeated several times, we are learners, not earners. And I don't know if this is some kind of question, but it's just like when we are, I mean, I'm saying this and I want just Tom say if it is like something that you can perceive like this or no. When you are in the present is where you are always the learner. When you are in the now, in the eternal moment of God is the now. So that's where you are a learner. So when you go through life, like bringing the past and just stuck with the past and moving your life around the information you have from the past, of course, you are an earner. You were an earner. And then in the present, if you go through your life worrying about the future and planning for the future and like conceiving yourself in the future, only in the future, then you move as well as from the learner to the earner. But it seems like you need to have those phases in your life, those stages in your life when you need to be an earner in order for you to recognize yourself as only a learner. Is this something that you can think like that, Tom? I mean, because as the experience in life begins as a baby and you start to grab this knowledge from all your surrounding world in the level of the form, of course you will grow up as an earner, because all the structure at the level of the form is just moving forward from that idea to be an earner. But it's just that those are like the lessons, not the lessons, the experiences you needed to have in order for you to become a learner constantly and see yourself like that always.
Yep, it makes sense.
Okay, that was one. And the other one, it was, Tom used, for example, as an example, Tom used the situation with being like a student and taking a test, right? And of course, if you change the core belief that you're stupid, then you will face everything different, and then your entire experience will change automatically, because now you have done the specific switch in your mind. Yesterday, I did have some kind, I don't know what will be like in 5 days from this situation that I told yesterday, but I did have some kind of perception yesterday with all our sharings that in my mind is like now my mantra while I wait for the test result to come back. And as we were becoming like these experienced practitioners of these concepts, for me the question is always what do you need to know to feel at ease. Of course, it is remembering what I truly am, right? Because what I'm going to say is just because it is easy to have this concept apply in an example as taking a test, like the student and in the school and you should, but when it's something that has to do with your health, with your body, that you don't know how to control it because it seems like you don't have control of it. So it gets harder to apply the concept because then as it's something that it's in your physical experience of your body, it seems like it works different, but it's not. It's just a thought that needs to be reversed or rearranged in order for you to remember what you truly are. And yesterday for me, having this situation with waiting these results, this diagnosis or whatever, is that I am the home of love. And that was something that I was dealing with my entire life, and I couldn't find it. Now I'm realizing that that's the reason we have like this kind of mantras in spiritual practices, because those mantras helps you to just stay focused in the truth, in the learning, not the earning. And for me, this beautiful mantra that I found yesterday for myself, it does the job to keep me in the God is center of the scroll, that I am the home of love. And I don't know what will come out of this in 5 days, in Saturday that I get there, but it really feels good, and it has helped me to be joyful during each day and to find peace with whatever the outcome can be. So if you feel that you are in disorder in some form in your mind, just try to find out what do you need to know to feel at ease. What is like the main core concept that it's in disorder for you to realize that, for example, in my case, I am the home of love, and the mantras helps. So I guess I'm just learning why the world has mantras.
I think that learner comes first before something else, because if we focus on earning and we don't engage in learning first, then we're not going to be earning what we need to earn. Yesterday, I had a magical, miraculous encounter with a woman who explained some things to me about that she took from Acts in the New Testament, and she told me about Ananias, and I didn't recall who he was, but it was about Paul, who had just become blinded on the road to Damascus, and Ananias was sent by Jesus to give him eyesight. But let's take that apart for a second and look at what happened here. Here comes this guy named Saul, and this was written up beautifully in a novel called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And you only find out that Saul became Paul at the very end, but he was a salesman, and he was selling something. Didn't matter what it was. And I don't know whether he was successful or not, but the problem is that he left bad feelings wherever he was because of what he was basically selling. And he was struck down and he became blind. And Jesus sends one of his disciples, but they're all disciples, but there's what I found out subsequent to my time with this person is that there's a big difference between disciples and apostles, because what she told me was it's in Acts, it's in the book of Acts, and that is where the action was happening. If you want to do something, then the apostles are the ones who have been successful at becoming missionaries. The disciples basically are constantly learning. They are a disciple of Jesus. So they are learning. But there is another side to all of this, and we don't have to forget about this other side, which means we take what we've learned and we act on it, and we change our life because of that. We change our life right there. And that's what makes all the difference in the world to me. And that person just happens to be just arrived in our room for the first time. And I'm going to invite her up to speak if she'd like to. She'll have to raise her hand or whatever it is we do about doing that. And she's quite in your face a little bit in a way about um, her beliefs. Her name is Gwen, but she goes by Gospel Gwen. And when I say in your face, she's not adverse at all to letting you know what she thinks of the Bible. And she taught me a huge lesson yesterday. This idea that, yes, we're here to be learned. She wasn't saying that phrase, but we are here to be learners, but we are also here to do something. And Paul, who was the greatest salesman in the world, became the chief disciple or apostle in this case, because he certainly did a great job of spreading the word of Christianity. So, Gwen, I do invite you to come on up. You
Oh
can just come
Lordy,
to the stage.
here we
Okay.
go. Let's hear it. I
I
can't
just
wait to
want
hear
to,
it.
well, I really wanted to thank her and let her know. And when I saw her, she came in, it was just in
Absolutely.
perfect time, because this is what I wanted to say, that
I
we're
know we
here
couldn't get her up on the
to
stage
do.
fast enough.
That's okay. There she
I
is.
love that orange
Yep.
hat too.
Uh-huh.
Hello, hello.
Gwen, you didn't even know why I was. You didn't expect that probably, but your timing was just perfect, just as it was yesterday when we talked. And I went looking in the middle of this room yesterday. It was the first time that I ever left and never came back, and I didn't know why, but I was looking for someone who had a certain skill that I was looking for. And I walked into another room, or she calls it a space rather than a room. I like that. And and she was talking there, and we started to engage a little bit and talk a couple of times back and forth. And I listened to her, and it turned out that she had exactly what I was looking for in a totally different sense, which has to do with earning, not learning. But how come I went there? Well, how come she was there? I asked her. And now, Gwen, why don't you tell us why you were there and how often you go there?
Well,
Go
good
ahead.
morning. Good morning. Thank you for the blessing of being able to grace the stage, and Bob. It was so nice. I don't even want to say nice because nice is not a biblical word, and I try to not say words that don't keep me grounded in the Word of God. So it was honor to meet you yesterday. And like you said, that is not a place that I frequent because I have a place of grace, a few of them. But the main place of grace, not a room, because a room is very confining. It's a box, and outside of the box. And I encourage other people to be outside of the box. So I don't call it a room, but I have a few spaces, and the main space of grace is prayer, peace, and power. And up until very recently, I was there every day, 4, 5, or 6 hours a day, teaching the Word of God until the beginning of the new year, which I scaled back, being obedient to God, and just started looking around a little bit more and getting rest in between those teaching sessions. So when I came into the space on yesterday, it was just me kind of looking around. It's my day off from being, in the space of Grace Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I came on up. I think I had been in that space twice before, and I heard you speaking, and I heard in your voice that you were looking for something, and just the Holy Spirit just wanted me to touch and agree with you that what you were looking for, you already had it. And just to offer whatever I could, because we live in a world where people will see other people
Wow.
struggling and they won't offer their assistance. And sometimes you don't even know how you can assist another human being, but you can, because God is never asking you to give something you don't have. He's always asking you to give something you do have, and that's because no lack exists. So I hope that's what you wanted me. You were expecting me to say at this time.
Wow.
This is your friend Gospel Gwen.
Wow.
I just want to hear you talk anytime
Yeah.
you want.
Wow.
That's Lee, my son, by the way, who's saying wow, wow, wow in the back.
Sorry, I'll
Um,
come up with better words. I don't know if that was grounded in gospel either, but that was wonderful. Thanks for joining us.
Gwen, it was very special, and we talked for I don't know how long. It's over an hour probably, and then the other person in the business part of all of this went and spoke to Gwen later on, and he told me that they didn't talk for an hour, only 58 minutes. That's what that's what he told me, 58 minutes. So anyway, it was a really great occasion for me because in the business sense of all of this, I did get a kind of answer that I was hoping for, and I really didn't know where to look. I just happened to leave this room and pop into that room, and I said, "Gee, should I do that?" And at first, I thought I said no, and then I said, "Well, let me just see what's there." And that's how we met. Neither of us frequent that particular room, and we just happened to go there on an impulse, and that's what's kind of special. We talk about miracles in this room. We don't go into any specific religion, of course, but by this, and we're not creating a religion here. We're affirming all the religions. If you ever read the Quran, you'd know that Jesus is discussed all through the Quran, and that he is known as the Messiah to anyone who studies Islam. And when
No,
when all of this
not
comes
Messiah.
together,
With your terms.
it's a different word,
Uh-huh.
but the word comes from the Aramaic, but it is the same thing. They use the word Isa, Isa, instead of Jesus, but that's who they're talking about because all the descriptions fit.
Sure, but they don't
So
regard him as the Messiah. That's the key
yes,
thing.
they
They
do. They
regard him as
call
a
him
prophet and a teacher,
they
but
do
not the
call
son.
him a. We'll talk about this, Lee,
All right.
and it's not important either. Um, it's a
I
matter
have
of
a
definition.
question for I'm sorry, how is the name of
Gwen,
Gwen? Hi, Gwen.
It's
I have a
Gospel Gwen.
gospel Gwen. Okay, great. That you're beautiful. I was just saying that because I love your picture. And I have a question. What do they say? I mean, I'm not that well instructed in gospel and things like that. But what does the gospel says about Mary Magdalene? What was her part on this process that you have been, I don't know, that you have gone through with your studies on gospel and things like that? What is her part on it?
And Gwen, you're on mute if you're responding.
Oh, excuse me.
That's okay.
What was
I wanted to hear what you had
did
to
you
say.
did you ask me a question about Mary Magdalene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Did she
Okay,
play a part?
what is your specific question? Because there's so much about Mary Magdalene. That's a loaded question. So what are you specifically asking me about? She was a witness and a follower of Jesus. And she was a witness to his crucifixion, his resurrection. She was a follower of Jesus. So what question are you asking me in particular about Mary
Was she a
of Magdalene?
practitioner? Was she a practitioner of the same kind of enlightenment that Jesus had? Though those your studies gives the idea that she was at the same level as Jesus or some form. It's just curiosity. I don't mean anything by this. It's just curiosity. What do you have on that?
Um, I don't really put anyone at the level of Jesus because Jesus was fully God and fully man. And yes, there are a lot of titles and references to Jesus as, the Messiah, a prophet, all of these. But to me, Jesus is Lord. See, you can believe in something or understand something, but when it becomes Lord of your life, then that means it directs you, it leads you. There are ways. I was speaking to someone last week, and they were saying everybody wants to get to heaven. It was a cousin that my mother grew up with, and I never talked to her before. And nothing just happens. Just like when Bob was talking, it just happened. No, nothing just happens. Everything has reason, everything has purpose. We might not know what it is at that moment, but it does have purpose. And so nothing is just happening. Nothing is all about happenstance. And that's the issue that we oftentimes don't really understand. We have to have, you know, a reason, a rhyme or reason for everything that goes on, and that prevents miracles and wonders from being performed in our lives. So when you talk about Mary Magdalene, she was no, not on the level of Jesus. Why? Because there are ways and there is the way. And the word teaches that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. Not because of any title that we give him, because Christians oftentimes don't follow Christ. They just wear the label of Christ. Maybe they belong to an organization, a denomination, maybe where they were raised in a particular religion, and religion and relationship are two different things. So when you ask me about Mary of Magdala, she was a follower of Jesus. She was devoted to Jesus. She had demons that was driven out of her by Jesus. And can you imagine if someone helps you to get rid of your demons, how devoted you would be to that person? And so
Yes,
she
I
was,
can. Yes, I can. That's awesome.
amen. So she was a see people now say that they serve Jesus. Like when my name became Gospel Gwen, I have all of those titles, all of those titles that you get in Christendom. I have all of, but God said, you what are you representing? You're representing the gospel. So that's why I'm Gospel Gwen. So I represent that in my name, but not in name only. If you understand what I mean. This is your friend Gospel Gwen.
Thank
Well,
you. That's amazing.
I just love you to pieces, and I just met you yesterday. That's something else. But it in our course, and I just began to in defense, not defense, but just by explanation. Um, she's coming from one place, which is very apparent, and we're coming from almost exactly the same place in that we are here to learn how to do what Jesus came to teach us to do. And yesterday, Gospel Gwen and um, in fact, she gave me the exact quote from the Bible that um, he had been doing some miracles, and I don't remember the verse, but that's not as important as what he said. These things you will do also in my name, and even greater ones. And that's what the Course in Miracles is about. It's not a course in Jesus. It's not a course in Christianity. It's not a course in any other biblical terms. It's specifically a focus. It's lessons in how to get your own stuff out of the way, which is what Tom was talking about earlier this morning, so that the miracles can happen around you. Miracles, I think it's the first rule of miracles, is they're happening all over the place, and all around you, but you don't know it. And we have to get our stuff in our mind, clear it away so we can have vision rather than just seeing what's there with all of the filters on our eyes. We can get rid of those things that are clouding the real reality, big R reality, and see that this is a beautiful world where miracles happen all the time, and the kind of place that Alice was looking for in Wonderland. All of those things are major stories that keep being retold to children because that's the way they can look at what's possible as they grow up and they mature and they realize that we're living in a sea of miracles. And that's what our focus is on here. And
Okay,
these
Bob,
words.
if I could give the scripture, I'll give it to you, and
Oh,
then I
sure.
close my
Okay.
mic. It's John 14:12. It says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." And so that's the scripture. So I'll close by saying that we want miracles, but the miracles have a source, and we cannot have the resource without the source. This is your friend Gospel Gwen.
Right on.
Thank
it's
you,
it,
Gospel Gwen.
see,
Wow.
uh, I think quite taken also by your just outward. You're just, we look at your picture here and it's just smiling and that amazing hat that you're wearing, and you're just one happy person. And when I grow up, I want to be just like you. Um,
One
and
one
that's what this is.
one minor correction, Bob. One minor correction. I
Okay.
I am happy, but happy is based on what's happening. And some people only go by happy, but I have joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. It's an internal characteristic. And no matter what's happening, I can still have joy. This is your friend Gospel Gwen.
Okay. Well, in that case, you have just brought me to saying something that most of the people in this room know, but I just didn't make you aware of yet. This book was dictated by Jesus Christ through channeling directly to Helen Schuckman. She took it down in shorthand. It started off by saying, "This is a course in miracles. Please take notes." And uh, she went on to take it down in shorthand, which I did mention to you yesterday. And this is, in our opinion, and not necessarily everyone, because people are coming here to learn how does this all work. It's a focus because the idea of religions is one of the things that have created more problems than anything else. It separates us from what? The one most important thing, that there is one God. Period. There's one God. And all these people who are saying there's one God, the problem is, one they call him Allah, another one they call him Hashem, another one they call him this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. The point is, we are all one. Jesus was the master teacher because he's the only one so far that understood everything about God. So when you said before, Jesus is God, God is Jesus, it's the same thing. What's important for us is to understand those things in our mind that are keeping us from experiencing the benefits of why he came. He said, y'all can be having, he said, y'all, he's a Southerner, I think. Y'all could be having a much better life and happier, just like you say, Gospel Gwen, if you learn what the things are that are preventing you from having miracles all around you, like you and I had yesterday. That was a miracle. That wasn't just a happening. It happened because I needed to get up with you. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is Jesus is saying, hey, I got to put these two guys together. And however, that doesn't matter to me. What's important to me specifically is How can I live a life filled with miracles? And miracles aren't necessarily making a whole lot of money. If it brings you happiness, then you're in the right place. Gospel Gwen is a perfect example.
All right.
And we talk about it from that point of view.
Fantastic. I just want to bring us right back for a quick reset. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. And if you guys have to go about your day, please come back and visit us tomorrow. We start at 6:30 in the morning, and tomorrow we'll get into lesson 53. And so today was 52, and I promised to do a quick review. So if you guys don't mind, I'd be happy to read. But let's get some feedback. I really, really appreciate the feedback to this point, and I really want to appreciate you guys for being here. And if there's
Are you
anybody,
saying that you're gonna read lesson 53?
no, I'm going to read lesson 52.
Okay.
This was on the screen because I needed to know which number was tomorrow.
Okay, sorry.
I read from the Purple Book last time, so this time I'm going to read from A Course in Miracles Workbook for Dummies, written by some guy named Thomas Wakechild. Whoever he is, and we'll use this as a summary
He's a
to.
great man. He's a great man.
And it's right next to me.
Sure.
Yeah, he's
I
very.
thought it might make him laugh, but no, it just makes him stare at the screen for a second, close his eyes again, and go back into that peaceful state. Ah, look at that smile. He's got the nicest smile for a guru,
Yes,
no doubt about it.
yes.
I have plenty of gurus here, and I appreciate them all. Earlier, Steph was in here. She sent me some guru words yesterday, but I am blessed to be here. So I'll read lesson 52 from A Course in Miracle Workbook for Dummies. We're on day 52 of our year. Join us as we take a breath. Lesson summary 6 through 10. Today's review covers these ideas from lessons 6 through 10. I'm upset because I see what is not there. Reality, which are my real thoughts that I think with God, is never frightening. It is impossible that reality could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I'm upset, it's always because I've replaced reality with judgmental, egoic illusions I made up. The judgmental, egoic illusions are upsetting because I've given the illusions reality, and thus regard reality, which are my real thoughts that I think with God, as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine, where I give illusion reality, and thus regard reality, which are my real thoughts that I think with God, as an illusion. I'm always upset by nothing. Lesson 7. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look on. I call this condemning of the world I look on seeing with my eyeballs. I hold the past against everybody and everything, making them my enemies. However, when I've forgiven myself and I remember who, it's with a capital W, who I am, then I will bless everyone and everything I see. When I've forgiven myself, there will be no past, and therefore no enemies. And when I've forgiven myself, I will look on love, on all that I failed to see before. Lesson 8. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it really is without my past egoic judgments? Let me remember that I look on the past egoic judgments to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Andrea, that's exactly what you were saying. Let me understand I am trying to use time against God. We do not have to do that anymore. Let me learn to give the past egoic judgments away, realizing that in giving away the past, I'm giving up nothing. Those are just the boat anchors that keep us mired to the past. So today, let's let go of the past to prevent it from dawning on our minds so that we can stay in the present. Lesson 9, I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see with true vision only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether to see with true vision or not. I have chosen to see. What I have chosen to see has been my mind's preoccupation with the past, and this preoccupation has cost me vision. Now, I'm going to choose again, so that I may see with true vision. Lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. Since I have no private thoughts, yet I have no private thoughts, yet it's only private thoughts which are not shared or real or shared with the mind of God, of which I'm aware. Blah, blah, blah. I have no private thoughts, yet it is only private thoughts of which I'm aware. What can these private thoughts mean? These private thoughts do not exist in the mind of God, and so these private thoughts mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the real thinking of the universe that is part of the mind of its creator than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? And that's the end of the reading there. All right, guys. I hope you
Lee,
all have
you
a
did a
fantastic
great
day.
job reading, Lee.
Oh,
I mean, you're just
I've been
really
practicing.
shining. I know you're practicing, and I have to just say I'm so proud of the way you're doing it. It was so clear in what you were saying. The reading is always there. Everybody can read it in their own way, but you're doing a super job on it, and I just love it. I love it. My son,
In
good
case you
guy.
guys wonder, my dad, he's a fan of mine.
And me too, me too.
You too. Oh, I am such a lucky guy. I got fans all around. So tomorrow I will drag all my fans back here, and at 6:30 in the morning we will read through the next lesson. I hope you all have a fantastic day. This replay.
Wait. Just one thing. You have all these fans. That's why you're so cool.
Bob.
Morning, dad joke.
Had
Wow.
to.
Yeah, that's actually a
I'm
grand.
sorry. As you were saying, Lee.
So, thanks for the comments from the peanut gallery. We got lucky and nabbed a great URL, and I put that up at the top. So the Course in Miracles, CourseInMiracles.live. I'll have the replay if you want to go back through the meditation that we had earlier today, or listen to the lessons. You're welcome to, and we'll be back here tomorrow at 6:30. And yeah, that's about it. I'm not going to close the room. We can relax and stuff. I just wanted to say goodbye to anybody who has to migrate into their Monday. And no
Yeah.
matter what, have a
I
great
have to
day.
leave because I have to take care of my daughter. But thank you very much, everybody. Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you,
Thank
Adrian.
you. Thank you.
Create a great day. Namaste.
Okay, namaste, Tom, and everybody have a wonderful Monday and a wonderful week. See
Thank
you
you,
tomorrow.
Adriana.
Bye bye.
Bye. Torrance, I haven't heard from you in a long time. Come on, speak up. Let's see if he's near the mic. Torrance. Ellie may. Oh, nope, not yet. Jordan, how are you today?
I'm doing really well today. How are you, Bob?
Just I'm tickled pink. I'm
Jordan, I want
just
to
as
hear about
happy as I could be.
how'd your visit to New York City go?
Oh, it was so wonderful. It was a really great experience. I got to see my parents. I got to spend the
Oh,
day with Steph, and
that's so cool.
she's
So
got,
Steph is a real person then.
yes, Steph is
Amazing.
absolutely a real person.
That's incredible. It
And
seems like a figment.
no, she's real, and she's got the most incredible view out
Good.
of her living room window of the Empire State Building, and it's so powerful. Yeah.
What part does she overlook? Because I've seen trees out her window, and that's not a common thing in New York City and Manhattan.
Yeah, that's it's a little park right across the street. So there's a bunch of trees. You can see the Empire State Building. NYU is down the road a little. It was really lovely. I did a lot of people watching. I couldn't get away from her window. Honestly, it was really interesting to have a different perspective because usually when I go to the city, I would just go there, I'd have an event, and then I'd go back to my parents' house. I was never really in, someone's apartment who actually lived there. So to be like upstairs looking down on people,
Yeah,
it almost
yeah.
felt like what God would feel like watching people parallel park and like crossing the streets, just not being able to do
What
anything but observe
what
from
floor is
above.
she on? Is she on like the third or fourth?
Uh, no, she's like the seventh.
Okay.
So
I,
you're
I
pretty
had an
up there.
office. I had an office on the second floor, and it was on a route where parades would go through. And so when a parade would go through, I'd work from that office, and we had these huge windows, and we could look like from the second floor down on a parade. It was like you're saying, just the most amazing perspective on New York City. Having trudged through the sidewalks in snow and stuff, to be able to just be above and warm, looking down at people freezing in the snow, watching a parade come by. It's kind of an amazing perspective change, and it's a great way of thinking about the level confusion that we kind of let ourselves suffer through. We trudge through the sidewalks when spiritually we could easily be 20 feet above the pain, and from 20 feet above we can see far enough to make good decisions. We can listen for the right kind of guidance. We can get the perspective that we need to be able to put these lessons into practice in our days. So I'm hoping this year, 2020 is 2020, what, 2022? It's not 2020.
No, let's not go back there again.
It's not 2020, it's 2022. And tomorrow is Tuesday, the second month, the 22nd day of 2022. So everybody get their tutus ready for tomorrow. Do that for lesson 53. I'm
So
out.
you're saying that from the window, you're looking through the window pane, and you are seeing a much better parade going on, and you can be happy. So look through the pain, get past it, and then you can really enjoy life more and more. Another one of my puns for today.
Yes.
I'm going to have a very punny day today, I think.
Fantastic. I hope everybody has a great day. We will see you tomorrow right here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.